is here! Yay!
Wait, do I look there?
Give me the side eye. I want them to see it.
Pressure.
Eventually, I told Kellen, I was like, the way we're going to introduce it is we're going to say, Emily, welcome Emily. And then you would give me the side eye and I'd be like, everyone look on YouTube for the side eye. See? But usually it's directed at me, so it's an honor. Thank you for coming. It's so weird, huh?
Yeah, it is actually.
It gets better, I promise. You forget that the camera's even there.
I hope so.
From 14 to 18, you were like an only child. Because you were the only one at home. And so those are all the teenage years, the formative years, and I was in Salt Lake. So for a lot of it. So this is cool because then we get to know each other a little bit more as well. Maybe that's why you'll sense a little awkwardness. So I'm excited for that. Can you remember your first trip to Mexico?
Oh no, I was too little.
The first one you can't remember. So then what's the first one that you
they
remember?
said that I was on the plane and I said, it's my first time. And they said, no, it's not your first time. I don't even really remember my second one. I probably only remember my third one.
Mm-hmm.
Like when my uncle called me ugly, that one.
Oh my goodness. So speaking of close people being our biggest bullies, how was that? Is that the main thing you remember?
I feel like I always remember that I would always cry.
Yeah.
Or feel like I just didn't really belong there. Or even here. It's like you go and you're like, oh yay, like this is gonna be fun. And then you're like, okay, nope.
I'm the one with the weird Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have fond memories?
Yes, with Andres and Pedro, because they were really nice. They would try to include us always. I remember we used to do piojitos, and then my grandma would always get us in trouble and make us go to church. And then Andres and Pedro would play pranks, and they would freaking put my foot down, so then I would like fall, and I was like kneeling at church or stuff like that.
When you're
so,
kneeling,
like,
they would
remember,
hit
like,
the back of your knee.
Oh, and we also used to do pranks with those explosives. So one time we went and we would like slow-mo videos and we would make explosives. Like we put one in an egg and we exploded it in slow motion. And
wait, explosives or are we talking fireworks?
They were like fireworks, but they would like explode. It would be like a little fire. So we used to go around and they would get mad though because they knew it was us. We would explode things like tops of random things. And so I remember that.
That's fun. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
What else did you do?
Making food with my grandma. But
tell us about her uncle.
Other than that, probably bullying. I remember that situation.
Clear as day. I remember too. My mom was pissed.
I was sad because I was 13. When you're going through puberty, you already feel kind of weird and misplaced.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was already a shy kid, so I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm ugly too.
Maybe explain what happened a little bit.
Oh, okay. I just remember that we have an uncle and then he was like, you're ugly, basically.
Yeah.
I don't remember specifics, but...
I do, and it was really annoying because I remember people would compare us anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, you were like 13 or 14.
I think so. I even think I may be 12.
12,
like,
because I was probably like 17, 18.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'm like high school.
Yeah.
I play with makeup. I've gone through puberty. I'm a little bit more confident in myself. You're, again, 12. You're going through puberty. Like... You're figuring it out.
Would also just compare us always.
Yeah. Calls us unnecessary riff.
Yeah.
And then he comes up and he's, you're the pretty one and you're the ugly one. And my mom was like, and you're the ugliest. Yeah. But I'll put up a picture of that trip. But you weren't ugly.
I was 12 years old.
You were 12 years old. Like, you were just like a kid. And I think that it made me really upset because I think that in society in general, there's a lot of comparison with women. We're competing with each other for no reason other than the patriarchy says that we should. And then as sisters too, and being just far apart, that our parents compared us sometimes.
Yeah.
And it was so unnecessary. But anyway.
It's kind of how the culture is too. Because even when we were younger, not justifying their behavior, but even when we were younger, it was like, gorda flaca. Because when we were kids, that...
Prietita, güera.
Yeah, there's always, like, something to do with physical appearance, always.
Nothing to do with...
No, who you are as a person.
Nicer.
No, literally nothing. But I do think it was helpful. I feel like it made me a little bit more empathetic in other ways.
Oh, really?
I think so.
That's good.
Because I was like, okay, that sucks. Even being that young, you start to think, oh, okay, I'm ugly. Or then you're like,
am I ugly?
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to make anybody feel that way. How I felt when he said that to me, because what does it even matter?
Or you start thinking, what is ugly? Am I ugly? Am I pretty? What does that even mean?
It's subjective, and also, who cares? I don't know, like it.
Who cares what this drunk man thinks?
But then once you get to know people too, they become more attractive depending, and
right.
then they can become less attractive. But yeah, I think it makes you think about it. And I think that was a pivotal point where I was like, okay, it's just not as important. And I'm not going to make fun of other people because someone's overweight or someone's skinny or because you don't know what situation they're in.
That's a great way to flip it to be something that you use. And so you use that into your high school career. You still use it today?
I'd say so. Because you also never win in those situations.
No.
If someone's pretty and you're like, oh, fuck that bitch because she's pretty.
Which some people
you're not going to win. No, there's always going to be someone who's prettier. There's always going to be someone who's more in all other aspects. And you can see it too with like older women and you're like, dang, I don't want to be bitter like that.
Yeah, I don't want to compete with 20-year-olds.
No, I don't want to. I'm not going to compete with. There's no point because you're going to lose. That's a 20-year-old. And you're
going to lose on a soul level too.
Yeah, because you're just going to be miserable because you're going to be upset and then you can see it bleed through.
Do you feel like now you're 24?
25.
25, oh yeah. Sorry.
I'm old. Halfway to 50.
Get out of here.
Just
I'm
kidding.
30. We're young. Yeah, halfway to 50 though,
right.
if you look at it like that.
Young and alive.
I've heard that the 30s are the best, and then I've heard the 40s, and I've heard the 50s.
Yeah, I've heard the 30s are the best.
Yeah.
And then it's all down after that.
No, I feel like you get to do what you want to do, but then you have more like resources
or money to do it.
An ability to do it. So and you can pick more of what you want to do. Where in your 20s, sometimes we do things because people want us to do them or because our parents said so.
That's valid. Yeah.
When you're 30, you're like,
I just do whatever.
What would you want to do in a perfect world?
If I could do anything, I think I ask myself a lot, but sometimes I just don't think I'm really passionate about anything.
Really?
I get overwhelmed with options.
Yeah.
And then I just choose to not do anything. Is how I feel usually. Not that I don't do anything, because I do, but...
You do a lot.
Yeah.
Do you just overanalyze everything?
Yeah, I do.
Where do you think that comes from?
Laura. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, Laura always does that.
Yeah.
And Laura is like fierce. Like she just was scared about everything. Yeah.
Which is crazy to me because our mom like did a lot that you had to put fear aside, like even crossing the border or marrying a man that proposed to her over the phone, running my uncle's stores. Those are big things.
Yeah.
Why run scared? We'll have to talk to her sometime about it.
I feel like it's probably a moving to the U.S. thing, not before. Because she probably was okay doing those things in her home country, and then when she got over here, it was like, oh.
Now I can't be as free.
Because then I don't think they have really anybody here.
They didn't for a long time. Especially when they moved to St. George. How do you feel like your relationship with them has evolved now that you're 25? Because I feel, again, I was like an only child the first 6 years of my life. And you were the last 6 years of your like a formative.
And I still live with them.
Yeah. Which is okay. I think multi-generational living is like where it's at. Europe does that.
Okay,
a lot.
That's true.
Mexico does that.
Mexico does.
Araceli didn't leave her mom's house until she was 27.
Yeah.
And then they still didn't want her to leave.
No. Yeah, it's true.
I think also living with them probably changes the dynamic too. But do you feel like it's evolved, your relationship with them?
I think so.
In what ways do you think?
I think when I was in high school, even when I was younger, I was really angry and mad.
What are you mad at?
I think I just felt really misunderstood.
Okay.
And like they just didn't really try to understand me. And so then I think it developed into anger. But as I got a little bit older, I think I met Stephanie at that time. And we used to work out at the park. Mm-hmm. And she was a really pivotal point. She would talk to me a lot about stuff, and her childhood to me was really hard.
Yeah.
And she was always really accepting of everything that happened.
To her family.
To her family, yeah. Oh, like, I know that they did the best that they could. I know that this and this. And we would always talk about family and friends. And I think I just started to see things a little bit different. But I do think me and my mom just don't get along sometimes. I think we don't really, like, mesh. We clash a lot. But I think as I've gotten older, and maybe my mom too, but I feel like it was hard to get out of the label of being like, oh, she's just Emily. That's just how she is. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of years, I was like, okay, that's just who I am. Then I'm just a...
Like you tried to match energy almost.
I feel like I was just like always like angry Emily. I would just say anything and she would be like, oh, she's just Emily. Like that. It's just her.
She's just angry.
Yeah, like she's just angry.
I feel like parents put a ceiling on us a little bit sometimes where it's, this is what you are, I'm going to label you. And then you're like, okay, then that's who I am in a way.
Yeah.
Before you can see where you can be way more than that or beyond that. So it sounds like Stephanie gave you a little bit more perspective.
Yeah. When I met Stephanie, yeah.
Okay. And then you can also see Steph was a big example too of getting away from it all, I think, right? Separating yourself from it.
Yeah, I think with Stephanie, it was like the first time that I was doing something. We didn't really play sports in school. No, we were already working at 16. I was already working 5 days a week at TJ, making my own money, paying for whatever we would do. You're already responsible. You just kind of have to do whatever, you know?
Yeah, you just grind.
Grind already. And
which breaks my heart sometimes. Sorry, side note.
Me too.
I'm like, why are we working so hard?
Yeah, you're already at that point where you're working and people were playing sports, people were going to prom, I was never asked to any of the dance, you know, like we weren't doing any of that. So I never really learned, I don't know, like doing something for yourself, like working out and stuff. And maybe this can make a big difference, or I can be in charge of the trajectory of my life and I don't have to just work.
Yeah.
And so I think when I was working out with Stephanie, I'm eating different and I feel better and I'm working out, I was like, oh, maybe I am in charge. It was like the first time too where maybe I can change the way that I'm living.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful.
And so I think that was what it was when I met Stephanie.
I love it. And it's true because you learn that growing up through sports, through team effort.
Yeah.
And if your mom, or for example, my mom and my dad also never did that. They never did any team activities. They never really finished school. And so if they're
really
like...
had friends. They never really did anything.
Yeah.
It was just like...
Just work.
Yeah.
So then if it's like, hey, all you're going to do, Emily, is be angry and work. And then you have this other situation where you're like, no, you can actually thrive if you want to, in whatever you want to, set your mind to do it, you can do it. I can see that being a huge escape too. It's almost like having expectations of you. Because Stephanie expected you to show up. She expected you to do it. She expected you to put in the time. Whereas my mom was like, I don't expect anything from you because you're just angry. Go over there.
Yeah, that's how I felt with my mom. And they never would check our grades. I mean, we weren't like bad kids. I don't know. I would also just do my own thing. Like at that point, I was a teenager. I just felt like I was just already like
an adult.
You're just like already doing everything and just, okay, bye.
And my mom was working too when you were in high school.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I think so. I think at that point she was already been working too.
And then I wouldn't have permission to do anything either.
Yeah.
I would just be gone.
Just do it. And that's interesting too, the difference in our growing up, because I look back too sometimes and I'm like, same. If I had all Fs, my mom maybe she would have been like, what does this mean? But she wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Like she didn't have expectations of me. The expectations came from me, my raging people pleasing. It's like I wanted to please my teachers and I wanted to please like people around me. And so that's why I did well. But we could have not.
Yeah.
But that's not a diss like on my parents. It's just that my parents didn't really have any other options either. Like to this day, we can't get my mom to the gym. Seeing an option of, hey, maybe I can go to the gym and spend time with my girls, or maybe let's go to a coffee shop. Barely, she's starting to open up. But for a long time, it wasn't like, hey, let's go shopping so we can chat about how you're feeling.
Yeah, which I also like viewing it now. Like the Maslow, the needs,
Mhm.
I get it because they're just surviving. And now we're at a point where we're privileged enough to even think about how we're feeling. Whereas they were just, I have to just make money so I can survive. And that's it. And they also dropped out so young. My dad,
Yeah.
my mom, high school, like beginning, my dad, middle school. So even them like checking our grades or knowing all that, like they're from such a small town. Like it's just very different.
So under the same vein, you wanted to do ballet. I remember we went to the ballet studio. And remember how much it was? Because I don't remember either.
I don't remember exactly how much it was.
But my mom was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't afford it. But for a long time, you thought she just didn't want you to do it, right?
No, because I think you said, oh, they'll just call you when they need you or something, or they'll just call us when they need us. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then they just never called. So I was like, oh, I guess I wasn't good enough, or I had to do something else. But my parents just couldn't afford to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. That makes more sense. And that probably was like something that I was trying to do to protect you. I talk about in my first episode where I feel like a lot of our trauma made me a liar, because I would lie not because I wanted to hurt you, but because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't tell Emily that we can't afford it, so let me tell her this little white lie so that way she'll forget about it. And I think I remember now. I thought hopefully you'd forget. And so I think that's what I said. It was like, yeah, they'll call us when they need us. But, which is not great. And by the time you think you're helping somebody, but it's not, because you probably could handle the truth. And that's me taking that from you, and I'm like, she can't handle the truth. That's not true. Emily can handle the truth. And it would have sucked, but then she could have felt it and moved on and moved forward and maybe been like, had other solutions. Anyway, I don't know if they could have fully afforded it or not. Could they probably push themselves maybe to do it? But because they're in survival mode, it's like they don't see, oh, if Emily does ballet, she's going to learn some skills. Like, she's going to learn to push herself. She's going to learn to work as a team. She's going to learn to look at other little girls and encourage them and support them, and vice versa. They just saw this big bill to do something creative that doesn't necessarily fit the survival mode. Yeah.
But, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted them to even put themselves in that position anyway now, looking back.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Now being an adult, having your own bills, you're like, no, it would have been... But I'm not, and that's not a fault on them. I'm just saying that I think a lot of kids out there probably experienced that. Probably would have benefited from some structure like that.
But I think also, too, they probably didn't really see the benefit. Like,
yes.
Like the lifestyle over here.
Yeah, generations of survival mode.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Because in El Rancho, probably the equivalent of that is working on the farm. In El Rancho. Working on the rancho. Which taught him a lot. But here you can do it a little less child laborish. You do it on a team. Playing soccer. Or theater. Or debate.
Or anything.
Or literally anything else. Do you have any advice for the girls that grew up like you?
Oh, I always feel weird giving advice because I feel like I'm not advised to give advice.
You're not like qualified?
Yeah.
I think you are qualified in that you are the second child of an immigrant family. That's real. You had me, a type A people pleaser, as an oldest daughter, or as an oldest sister. Basically 2 moms. And you've come a long way from it. So basically any kid that is, hey, I can't get out of my mom's lack of expectations of me. We fight a lot. That kind of thing. Which you do have experience. Even though no one's perfect, right? Like, maybe advice is not the best word. Maybe it's like, what helped you get through that? Maybe somebody can take some from it.
I think asking questions.
Asking questions to who?
Just in general, I think I spent a lot of time alone asking myself why I would do certain things, because I was really confused in what direction, and even still now, but I felt like I always would be like, oh, why this, why that, why this for everything, and then being able to zoom myself out of situations. I don't know. So asking yourself those questions, because
Going inward.
yeah, going inward for sure. But not to a detriment, because I think there's a point too where if you think about everything too much, then it just like also becomes exhausting, and then you can't even enjoy or live your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think asking yourself more questions is what I would give advice on.
Any books you recommend? Because I know you also read a lot during that time.
That's true. I don't know. I like the Denial of Death, but I don't know if people will like that one.
Why?
Because I think it can come off morbid, but I don't think it's morbid.
How did it help you? That's a good question. Like, why would it be worth a read from what you experienced?
I think, to me, because he has another book, The Birth and the End of Meaning, too. Like, he has a few books, and Escape from Evil, where he analyzes a whole bunch of things. And the Denial of Death, the whole thing is, okay, you're basically programmed and you have this fear of dying, and then it makes you have like passion projects, which is like religion and like relationships, all these other things that you use to cope, which is not necessarily bad, like he said in the book. Basically, he like at the end is, okay, I don't know what any of this means, but I'm giving you this information so you can choose
to live your life.
There's no point in reminiscing. In the beginning, he talks about how everyone gets a pivotal point when you hit a certain age and you're like, oh my god.
Midlife crisis?
Yeah, like a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
And he gives that example. And then he goes through childhood, and he's talking about a baby. When they're born, the first thing that they realize is they only have their mom and their dad. This is their whole world. They don't know anything else exists. These are the only people that exist to this human for so long. And then you develop your language as a form to survive. And it's all based on these people who created this world for you in the beginning. And then you hit a certain point and you're like, I created this life for myself, and what did I do, or what did I create? And then he talks about passion projects. He's saying religions, relationships, and really anything you can use as a form to cope. And so then he gives this analogy of this guy who's out naked in the wilderness, and the one free person is a person who, like, the analysis of him being naked is just letting go of everything that you think is true, because when you're a kid, those first two people are your world, and as you experience life, you slowly start to carry things, and you're experiencing things, so you're developing these things, and they all come from something. And so the true free person is the one who's naked in the woods and not afraid. And that book, I think, really helped me, because it was like the tattoo that I have, you must die. Like, there's nothing, no one knows the answer, because I felt like I spent a lot of time dwelling. Oh no, what does this life mean, or what does this mean? And in that other book he talks about meaning. Even basic psychology, when you're like, oh, red cars or whatever, or you're thinking about a specific car, like then they all start to pop up out of nowhere. And that's really cool. So it's, if you choose to give something meaning, it ends up popping up anyways. If you're like, this has meaning, it will find its way. And I had a few situations. I found that book, and then I asked for signs and things that happened. And then I started getting obsessed with Carl Jung and synchronicities and all that stuff. And it's just a big rabbit hole that you get stuck into. And this is even, what am I talking about?
No, this is advice for other people. But this is, so I remember this time, like, you were reading like crazy. You're consuming a lot.
Yeah, because it was just like one thing after another.
It sounds like it almost forces you to
zoom
out. Yeah. Which is, when you're in survival mode, you're very zoomed in and almost to
fault. Yeah.
Wow.
So then I started to zoom out. I really like Denial of Death. I think some people can find it morbid because he says, I don't know what the meaning is. The same with Albert Camus's book, The Myth of Physicists, where he's, okay, you just have to picture physicists happy. He's basically, if you give something the power like religion to be like, I live my life because of this, you also give it the power to kill you, is what Albert Camus says.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword. If you give something that much power over you, it also has a power to kill you as much as it has a power to keep you alive. At the end of the day, you just have to picture him happy, Sisyphus, the guy who's rolling the thing, because even if he's in that situation,
Where he's rolling the boulder,
rolling the boulder
forever, right? For infinity or something?
Yeah, for infinity, because that's his task. You have to picture him smiling, because if life fucking sucks and you're the one rolling the thing and you're never going to be able to get up, at least you're experiencing, and you have to bring meaning into what you're doing regardless.
Yeah.
And without knowing what the real answer is and what the real meaning is of anything.
Yeah. Which can be very scary for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, religion, for example, if that's
Yeah.
all you know and that's all you've been told, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, this is just a tool. Look at the existential questions that you actually have. Sometimes you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Nothing matters.
Yeah. It can be scary. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's beautiful, right? It's like, nothing matters. But it does matter for you to experience this life.
But
it's not as serious as everyone makes it sound.
I feel like it's also just as scary to be like, I'm going to use this one thing.
This is the one true thing.
The one true thing. Because,
and I know it.
Because if, say, I'm dating someone, this is the one true person in the world to love he dies in a car accident. And that's
for
like,
religion, if this is the one true religion, and then you find out that maybe it's not, and you're 60 years old and you lived your whole life living this one true way, and then you're 60 and you're like, what? Even though there could have been some good things that came from it, or that relationship, maybe that man gave you so much, but then he dies and you're like, my whole world is over.
Crushed and it's over.
When you can't live like that. And in survival mode, you do.
Mm-hmm. Then there's that other book that I was telling you about, The Birth and End of Meaning, where he talks about when you first lie, and how when you're lying and you're living your life and you say your first lie, and then it feels so easy and you're able to lie and you can lie all the time, and he says that's also a form of not being true to yourself, and so you're lying to yourself, and how that can separate you from your inner person as well. Yes. So then it comes to the point where you're lying to yourself because you're lying to other people too.
Yes.
And then at the end you're wanting to connect so bad, but you're not able to because you're disconnected from yourself. And he has a whole thing on that too.
Which is very true.
Yeah. You can get to that point too.
What do you do to not lie to yourself?
I don't know. I think there's some things that are
a balance.
Yeah. I think it comes with like people pleasing, and I don't know if there's one true answer.
Yeah.
I think especially in Becker's work, he's saying these are all things that occur, and like do the best that you can. I feel like it'll happen anyways.
Inevitably. It's like almost how quickly you can pivot.
Yeah, it's like he's just giving you the work and is okay. You'll probably have passion projects regardless. You'll probably have things that you obsess or
you give too much power.
Yeah, but if you're aware of it, then maybe that will give you an upper hand. I think that's what he was saying in Denial of Death, is we're all scared of dying, and maybe that fear creates this life that you're living because you think all these things are significant. And if I can just tell you that no one really knows what's going on,
then it's okay. Then you can live a specific lifestyle that you want and be fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
then
be
you can
extremes.
Be more free.
Yeah.
Then you can be more free with what you're choosing, because you know that's the choice that you're making because you want to.
To me, those kind of books, it's like intellectual consent to just be aware of something like that, and then live my life according to that. Like what we were talking about with lying. Even let's go back to your ballet thing. You deserve the right to have intellectual consent over what's happening because you can handle it. Therefore, you could have grieved it faster, and you could have moved on and been like, you know what? I'm going to sell lemonade on the road, and I'm going to make money so I can give it to my mom so that I can do ballet because I still want to. Or I'm going to find another activity that maybe is cheaper, like soccer or something. That's just a small example, but having that truth and that understanding, you'll just move different in the world.
Yeah, you'll just be able to choose wisely, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm choosing to do this.
And you can pivot faster.
There's also that other book, The Stranger. This guy, his mom dies in the beginning, and he starts it off like his mom died. Then he commits like a crime. Did I tell this? He commits a crime, he kills someone. Yeah. But he's like really indifferent about it, and people are like, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
Like, why aren't you feeling more?
Yeah, why aren't you feeling more? And then he's on trial. They were explaining to him, okay, you're gonna go to prison for life. Why aren't you upset? And then people come talk on the stand and they're like, I saw him when his mom died and he's weird. He has no emotions. He wasn't even crying about his mom dying. And the character's just indifferent about everything. Like his girlfriend's, oh, we should get married. And he's like, sure. And then there's a point where there's a priest talking to him once he's sentenced. And he's, I can't believe you don't believe in anything. If you were to just believe in something, maybe we can lessen your sentence. And he's like, you know what? If I were to be in that same situation, I'd do it again. And he's okay. And the priest is religious, so he's like, how can you just not believe in anything? Then it's the same thing. Camus has a quote on it where he's saying, people are like, this is the normal way to react towards things. Then they saw him as a weird...
Abnormal.
Abnormal. He's not feeling anything, so that means he's guilty, or because he didn't cry at his mom's funeral, now he's
void of emotion.
So it's the idea that if you're doing things abnormally, then people will think it's like,
people will label it
when it's, that's just who he was.
Mm-hmm.
He just
that over and over again
Yeah.
in history, people being way ahead of their time because they were acting true to themselves in a situation, and then people thought they were weird, and then 10, 15 years down the road, they're like, oh, yeah, she was just living her life. Society catches up to itself almost.
Which he was guilty, so...
Yeah.
You know,
that was
he didn't need to go to jail.
He did.
He did do
but
that.
It's like, but that also talks about jury, how our system is also based upon jury and how people perceive emotion, and that's a whole other, like,
people were perceiving him
bad.
Because of how he acted about the mom thing.
Yeah. I love this. I think people are going to have a huge reading list. Well, maybe we'll put it in the show notes, what books you talked about today. That way they can pick them up themselves too, and we can have a follow-up if they have any questions or things that they want to talk about.
Well, that would be cool.
That would be awesome. Book club! What is the meaning of life? Okay, let's switch gears. I have on here music, how music is huge for you as well. Emily's a really good DJ. Even though, and she finds all these songs that I've never even heard of, and they're really good. What got you into music first?
I think when I was really young, I was really sensitive. And so when I would listen to certain songs, I would be like, oh, I feel something. Or
do
like
you think
people
you're
were like
sensitive,
relatable
or do you think you just
with
felt
lyrics.
really deeply?
I think probably felt really deeply. I remember I would cry a lot. Even when you got married and moved out, I would like cried by myself. And when we moved houses, I cried by myself too. And then when Ruby and Luis moved away, I would cry. I would just cry a lot.
Which I had no idea.
Yeah, like I was just really sensitive. Or thought deeply.
Yeah.
Or felt deeply about certain things. And I feel like a lot of other people didn't. So I felt like it was weird. Not weird, but not useful too. I was like, hey, I'm just sad about stuff. It's inevitable and things are going to happen and people are going to leave.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe just an outlet. Like the lyrics, they're talking about relatable stuff. And so I think that.
I could see that. I feel like a lot of our culture does that too. It's like we feel through song and music. Yeah. I could see that. And maybe it lets you have a release of those emotions without feeling... Because my dad still does that to this day. He's like, oh, what's your dad? And I'm like, yeah, I want to cry. I'm going to cry about this. I'm going to feel it, and that's okay. Sometimes you're right. If it's not useful, you're like, hey, I have to get up and start going. You listen to a song and you're processing it a little bit more than if you weren't. What are a couple songs that were pivotal for you? Like maybe one that got you into a certain type of music?
I used to make playlists when I was in high school, so...
Would you ever consider being a DJ?
I think it would be cool, but...
I think you'd be really good at it.
I think that would be fun.
You DJ for us every time we travel.
I used to make one every month when I was a little kid. So I have from like 2016, and they're all month based. 17, 17, 17.
Okay, so you have like how you're like that month.
Yeah,
that
I used to have every month.
Dang, why'd you stop?
Well, I don't know, because these were when I was 18, 19. They're from when I used to hang out with my friends, and they would just be specific.
To your group of people?
Yeah, I think maybe I just got older. I still make a lot, but I used to do them every month so I could find new music. When Stephanie first showed me Innerbloom by Rufus, that got me more into EDM.
Yeah.
That's a good song. I used to really like Suicide Boys when I was in high school.
I remember.
Yeah.
I'd be like, are we okay?
And Michaela made me a playlist of just Suicide Boys songs. So maybe Suicide Boys. I like their song Antarctica.
Okay.
That's one of my faves. But I guess, do you believe in God? I have it tattooed. That's their
Is that a song?
Yeah. I don't know what other songs.
That's good. That's
There's
good.
too many songs.
There's too many. Okay, I was also saying, I know that you have a playlist that has our parents' favorite songs.
Oh, yeah.
Could you share some of them?
Oh, my parents' favorite songs?
Yeah. I like it. You inspired me to actually create one too, because it was songs of our parents. So that way we always have them. Because I'd always forget the names of them.
Yeah.
Until we hang out.
What the hell?
I think you called it Canciones de mis padres or something.
It has El Columpio, India Mía, Acá Entre Nos, Una Página Más.
I bet there's a lot of people that know these songs.
Cierto.
Who's that one by?
Los Cadeles del Linares.
Oh, yes. Pause it before we get
Copy it.
They're like, no!
Paloma Negra, yeah.
Paloma Negra. Dang. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I did bring up the pageant. Competing for Miss Utah. How was your Miss Utah experience?
Emily Camacho, Southern Utah, USA.
I think it was fun.
You have a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. I'd probably do it again.
Yeah.
It was fun because it was out of my comfort zone and it was random.
And it was the first year and random, yeah.
I felt like it would be potential to grow. I didn't realize how certain questions you don't ask yourself, like to brand yourself as a person.
Right.
That was hard. And also practicing questions, Danielle would be like, okay, don't say what you think they want you to say. She would say what you mean. Yeah. And it was interesting how she could tell. She was like, I know that's what you think they'd want to say, but what do you actually want to say? And that was what was really fun about it. Learning about myself in that way, where I could just be myself and it could be valuable and I don't have to say whatever I think they want me to say.
Oh, that's a big lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Do you remember what questions they ended up asking you during the interview?
It was 2 different panels and then there's 3 people on one side, 3 people on the other. I know that they asked me about my favorite movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. They were like, oh, why is that your favorite movie? It's such a random movie, is what they said.
Yeah.
And then...
Which everyone should watch, by the way.
It's like you black out, I feel like.
In the interview. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because the takeaway is the same, which is to be able to market yourself and be able to show somebody who you are in a
Yeah, like really quick.
really quickly. Yeah. Would you recommend it for other girls? Especially Latinas?
Yeah, if you're at a certain age, I feel like when you're younger, it would be difficult. Like if I was in high school, it would have been difficult because I don't think I had an understanding of who I was, and it probably would have molded me to change myself.
Instead of finding who you are?
Yeah.
I could see that. I was around pageants for a long time, and I could see that.
Yeah,
There was like girls that were just...
girls would do it. There was one girl that was doing it every year, and she was upset, and she was like, I can't keep doing this. It's taking a toll on my self-esteem. I've done this every year. Then it's okay. Maybe take a break, take a step back if you're doing it like...
You're just wanting to win.
Yeah, you're just wanting to win, and you just want the crown really bad, and it gets to a point, then they turn a little sour when they don't, and you're like, oh, okay.
That was the intention.
But yeah, if you're like, okay, I want to grow, I want to be confident and understand myself better and be authentic, I would say yes. But if you're like, I just want the crown because it's going to be really awesome, it can get unhealthy really quick.
Okay, and have a good foundation of who you are.
Because everyone's so pretty there. You're not going to be there and be like, oh, I'm the prettiest. Like everyone
pretty. Deserves to win.
Yeah, everyone deserves to win.
But there's
everyone
only
put in the work.
one winner. And so, yeah, you have to be wanting something else. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Then you will question yourself.
You have to be like, okay, I'm doing this for fun, and then being nice to everybody.
Were you surprised when you got top 10? Yes, you were, because put in the clip, you didn't even walk down.
Our second semifinalist is Southern Utah.
It was like, Emily! And then you walked down.
I think yes, because I thought I tripped really bad. And so I was like, oh, okay, it's over. But they don't really count trips as
a huge penalty.
Yeah, if you handle it well.
Yeah.
I didn't actually trip, but I went like this, and then I felt, oh, it's over. It was like a perfectionist kind of thing.
Yeah.
But because you're there and everyone deserves to win, then you're talking to everybody and everyone's really nice. But at the same time, I also worked really hard. But all the other girls did work really hard too. So you're like, okay, I could see it going either way.
And be okay with it.
And be okay with it, yeah.
I love it. Shout out Danielle, her code.
Danielle.
Maybe 2026.
Possibly.
You might see her again at Miss Utah. Were you surprised by the community engagement? Like the amount
everybody?
of people that were really supportive of it all. Even in Mexico, people were, Emily, you got this.
Yes, actually. I think people just like pageants.
I thought Mexican people like supporting you.
Well, I don't know.
But also, I do think that people
people like pageants
in Mexico, in Mexico, they're like, that's my cousin, the most beautiful person in the world.
And you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know we were like close like that.
Which is fine.
But no, it was nice. I also felt bad though, because I didn't want to be a burden onto people. I wanted to be able to financially do it myself and not have to rely on other people and
sponsors.
Be like, yeah, because everyone's going through their own thing. Part of me felt bad because I don't want people to think they have to donate to me.
Yeah,
because it's just a pageant.
People's picks.
Yeah,
I think it was like $1 a vote or something for the people's pick. I think you had a good balance though. You didn't ask too much, and you were just like, if you want to, great. If not, that's totally fine.
Yeah, because I don't want to force people. Because the economy's bad too. Everyone has
in this
bills.
economy, if you're supporting her, it's like even nicer.
So it's nice, but even sharing it was nice.
That was a good time. Family bonding trip to Salt Lake City. That was a good time. Okay, so you would recommend it, love it. Let's see. Those are all the questions I had. Thank you for coming. And being vulnerable.
I always feel weird giving advice because I'm like, I ain't right. Just kidding.
I'll clip that.
No, I'm just like, everyone's figuring it out, you know? Like,
yeah.
And so it.
Well, that whole segment that we talked about with the book, it's like no one knows anything really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm a big believer in that. So
if we have a baseline of take it with a grain of salt, the audience is smart, consumers are smart. They'll know, like, hey, if there's something that they can take away from it, great. If not, maybe it was entertaining.
It's not just fun.
Ooh. Let's pull one question from this. And we're going to pull from the third.
Fine.
This is the We're Not Really Strangers family edition.
What is something about us that only our family would understand?
What do you think?
I actually don't know.
I don't know. They understand us.
I mean, to a degree, yeah.
Only our family would understand. I think that our relationship ebbs and flows. I think they know that. Like, we're not, like, on top of each other. We don't hang out all the time. Like, but we...
I guess maybe the way we communicate.
Yeah.
Probably not in, like, a normal family.
Yeah, like, everyone gets it. Like, we don't have to text all the time. But if I text you, like, hey, I need your help, you'd be there. And vice versa. Or... hey, you want to get a coffee on a random Wednesday? Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know, maybe the dynamic, but I feel like maybe just being like first generation, like you just kind of have to help them. Like maybe that's not normal.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
You kind of have to be like, oh, my mom wants me to do this for her. Or like, she needs
that's
this,
true.
You know? And that's kind of like a first generation thing where you're like kind of drop everything to just do that for them. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's something that
only our family would understand.
Yeah, or first generation families would all kind of understand. You just kind of do that for them.
Yeah. I've had friends be like, what are you doing? Yeah, what do you mean you're going to look at this document? Like, yeah, I got to figure out what this is. What do you mean that
you're going to go help your mom at the doctor?
Yeah. Be on the phone for an hour on customer service.
Yeah, like you have to do that too.
That's fair.
Or like, what do you mean? Yeah.
Cute.
Okay.
High five.